Good morning, everybody, and greetings from socially distant National Mill Dog Rescue. I'm Glenn Pierce, the Behavior and Training Manager. This is what I really look like. I'm going to keep my mask on, as is everybody here, just because we all want to be extra careful. Today we're going to start a nose work session, and that is giving dogs a job, basically. Giving them something to do, using their nose to search out items that we want them to find. We're going to start with food, because that's the most obvious, natural thing that dogs like to sniff out. And this is a fun game for all dogs to play. It's really good for shelter dogs because it gives them a job again. Enrichment is what we call it. We call enrichment. That's giving dogs stuff to do that engages their brains and their bodies in ways that are natural to them. That's enrichment. And dogs lead with their nose. They have such powerful noses. They have something like 230 million scent receptors in their noses. Humans have 220 million. Did I say that? 220 million scent receptors in their noses. Humans have about 5 million. So by comparison, dogs, as we all know just by looking at dogs, have a very, very keen sense of smell, and it's their main sensory function. That's the way they really guide themselves around the world. So we're going to challenge Nadia over there, and I'll introduce you to her in a second. Oh, there she is. She's making the rounds. And we're going to challenge Nadia to enter our field of play here and find some not so difficultly hidden treats, because this is the first time she's done this, and I want to set it up for her to be easy so that she has a really good time. But you know, well, hopefully the dogs here at National Mill Dog Rescue won't be here long enough to get super good at this. But Nosework does have actual competitions where people go and instead of using food, they use scents like birch and anise and some others too. So they actually compete, like they have competitions like agility competitions, but it's Nosework instead. And this is also the way that working scent dogs would start off. So maybe someday Nadia will be an airport dog, sniffing for contraband. So I've set up our field of play here, and it's really important to establish the field, because once we take the dog in and give them the command to do the search, we want them to know it's all business. So I've made this a bit of a smaller area here with these X pens, and that may not be necessary all the time when she learns the game. And I've spread out these boxes here. And these boxes are the first step, and the boxes are going to give her a cue that there's stuff to find here. And so I'm going to, while she's watching, for this very first one, I'm going to hide. It's going to be real easy for this one. I'm going to put some treats out here. I'm using chicken. This is really nice chicken that our rehab volunteer superstar Pat Pula brings us. So thanks, Pat. It'll be really appealing to her. I was walking around with it before, and I let her spend about 15 minutes in this room so she could get used to the room, so it wouldn't be all new when we first came in. But she was following me all around, so I know she really wants this chicken. So again, I'm just going to make it super easy. I'm going to have them mostly in plain sight. Maybe I'll put one inside a box here. And I'm going to do like 5 or 6 hides. That's what we call this now. We're doing the hides. That is, I'm putting the treats out and hiding them so that she has to find them with her nose. Usually I want her to be in a different room, because eventually it's going to be really easy for her to watch us as we place the hides. And we don't want her cheating, right? But for the first one, I want her to see me putting these hides out so that, actually, one over here, way over here, so that she is really excited and she knows there's something going on. I think there might be something like 7 hides here. It's important to keep track of your hides, because the way we're going to do this is I'm going to take her on leash, I'm going to bring her into this field of play, and I'm going to give her a cue. I'm going to say, find it. And I'm going to walk her around on a loose leash, and as she finds the treats, when she finds each one, I'm going to give her lots of praise and extra treats on top of it, right where she found the original treat. So not only does she get the treat that we hid, but also lots of praise and extra treats too, so it's going to be super, super exciting for her. All right, so let's give it a roll. Cheers, everybody. Good girl. All right, so now I'm going to hold the leash because, as you guys know, scent dogs have a handle. If your dog's not comfortable on the leash, you can do this without the leash, but it's preferable to do it with the leash so that you can be right there with the dog when they do the find. Okay, are you ready? Find it. Okay. She has to learn the game. I'm just going to wait her out. I'm not going to give her any cues. Body is a milk dog. So, yes, good girl. That was one. I have to limit my praise excitement because if I'm too excited, she might get scared. Alright, so she found two. And I'm not going to cheat, I'm not going to guide her, I'm just going to let her find the stuff. She smells chicken on me. So, but she has to learn that the chicken's not going to come from me, it's going to come from the field of play. I'll just move around a little bit. And she loves her human friends so much, so. Yay, good girl. Yeah, get that one, I'll give that to you instead. Good girl. And if she does this, I'm just going to ignore her. I'll move around a little bit. And this is typical of the first session. She really doesn't know what's going on, and so she needs to learn the game, and the food is not going to come from me, sweetie. It's only when you find the food in a box, is silly. So again, I'm going to just ignore her and let her look around. Maybe I'll help her a little bit. I'm just going to keep walking around so that she can sniff out the treats. Yes, good girl. Well, that was a leftover from the last jackpot I gave her, but I'm going to give it to her anyway. So she learns the game. She's got a lot of people watching her, and she's overwhelmed. All of her friends are here, and so she's preening a little bit, I think. Now, what I might usually do actually is, yay, yes, good girl, Nadia, sorry. Good girl, Nadia. What I might also do is, if I know I'm going to do this in the morning, skip her breakfast, so she's extra motivated for the food, and then give her the breakfast after the game. But she's had breakfast today. I didn't think it was going to matter that much because they eat pretty early, and it's close to, well, it's 11:15. That's a good girl. Use your nose. Now she saw that chicken in there, but you know what? She may, as a milk dog, not know what it's like to be in a box. So that's something we have to take into consideration, and we want to make this as easy for her as possible and as least scary as possible. So I'm going to change this hide right in front of her. Yay, good girl! She looked straight into that box, straight at the chicken, and she didn't want to go in. So we do have to make special provisions for the dogs that are that might be a little anxious. Oh, there's one more. Come on, you can do it. She's using her nose, that's good. She's close. Yay, good girl. You did it, Nadia, good girl. That's that's it. She won. So that is that's one trial, we'll call it. So I'm going to take her out here. And I'm going to ask him to hold her. Oops. Good job, Nadia. And I'm going to go in and do some more hides. And because she's not particularly motivated for anything right now, I'm going to change my game here. I'm going to use a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Yummy. Ooh,
So I'm going to, again, make it very easy for her. Just going to put it next to the box there. You can move the boxes around a little bit. I want to make sure she understands this whole field is a field of play. Are you ready to do it again? Come on, Nadia. Oh, I know you love your people. Nadia, find it. Good girl. She's very engaged with people, which is wonderful. She will learn the game. She's using her nose right now. And you want to pay very close attention to the dog that you're handling, because, yes, good girl, isn't that yummy? Because you want to be right there when they find their hide. And after a while, I'm going to get used to watching her, and you can even see them catching drafts sometimes. As they're walking along, they'll just stop and take a right turn or a left turn because they can smell the treat drafting across the floor. And that's pretty cool when that happens. So she just walked right by one. But as you can see, she's using her nose. And I'm going to ignore her if she comes up to me. You can do it. Yay, good job. When dogs use their nose, they're using their brain. Their brain is a very expensive organ. That is, it takes. That's the peanut gallery. These are our labradoodles, or Aussie-doodles, I guess we're calling them, that you'll see quite often on Facebook. And so they're voicing their objection to not being out here, I think. But when animals use their brain, they burn a lot of calories. Yay, you did it, good girl. Good job. Again. I need to be not too effusive in my praise because I don't want to startle her. She's doing really, really well. She's super friendly, but she still is a mill dog, and she has a little bit of anxiety, so I want to make sure I'm not doing anything super scary. And she's close to another hide. Yay, good girl. Are you going to leave the roll? No, okay, good. Yes, and so having a dog do a couple of sessions of nose work can be as much exercise. Yes, good girl, honey, did you get it? Good girl. Hey. Gotta be quick. There you go, good girl. I need to watch what she's doing so I can be right there to give her extra rewards. You don't want the chicken? Good girl. And again, I think she'd probably be a lot more enthusiastic about this if we held her breakfast. I think that's it, right? Or is there one more over here? Is it? Is it? Okay, I think she did it. She's still got some other stuff lying around over here too, but those are remnants. And so the typical session would have, we've done 2 runs, we call it. And the typical session would have, like, say, 4 runs at the most. And the whole thing should take no more than about 15 minutes. You want to keep your sessions really short and end before, well, both the dog and the handler want to end, because that's always the best way to get the dogs and the handlers excited for next time and keep them really engaged. You don't want to make it go on for too long. Come on, baby. Good girl. You gonna eat the rest of your chicken? Good girl. Good job. So quick sessions, about 4 hides per run, maybe 4 runs per session, 15 minutes total. Come on, baby, good girl. And then I'm gonna exit the area and I'm gonna say, all done. Go see your friends. So that was a really nice no work session for Dottie. That's something that she needs to learn and get better at by practice. Eventually what we'll start to do is eliminate the boxes and just use the furniture. And so that she's going into a room and finding the hides just on furniture and places that normally occur in the room. We can try it outside in a place with low distractions after she learns inside. And eventually we can also use a vehicle. So just like scent dogs would search a vehicle, we would start doing our hides around the car. All right, we'll back up to the vehicle. Hey, Pat. And so eventually we could then start using a vehicle. Like scent dogs sniff a vehicle to find contraband again. And so we'll have a vehicle in a secure place. We'll put the hides on like the tires and the bumpers and open the car doors and do a couple hides inside the car too, so that the dog's going around the car to find the stuff. Again, professional nose work people like KS or semi-professional will end up switching from the food to a scent like essential oil like birch or cedar, I guess. Again, these guys aren't going to be here long enough to do that. So we're going to give them lots and lots of stuff to do to keep their brains and bodies busy while they're here, but we really hope they go home as quickly as they can. So thank you for watching, and visit nmdr.org if you'd like to see our dogs, and we'd love to have you come meet one and take them home. Thanks.